basically all I heard about. Pre-Olympics was the gymnastics team and how Simone is going to dominate the Olympics, and she did, but it also gives a lot more recognition to a sport that isn't really necessarily in the forefront.
Coach Kaylee Desmond with Water's Edge Gymnastics in Traverse City says Simone Biles and the women's team have created a lot of hype around gymnastics and more interest in the sport, with more parents calling inquiring about classes. Desmond says women's sports don't get the coverage that men's sports do, and the fact that there is so much focus on Biles and the other gymnasts is inspiring for young female athletes.
When we go into the Olympic season and the most talked about athlete is a woman gymnast, I think it is empowering for our girls.
The gym even held a watch party so the girls could see the competition together as a team.
They work so hard, they put everything they have into this, and to see where their hard work could lead is, I think, inspiring for them and gives them a new kind of energy to keep going.
Natalie Schoenhals is on vacation from Oregon visiting grandparents in the area, and even on vacation, she's spending time at the gym. She says she admires the Olympic gymnasts because she knows it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to get to that level.
It's just crazy how they do that, and I just don't understand like how they get so high and they're tumbling, and just it takes a lot of practice and strength.
For Rio Hughes, she says Simone Biles is a huge inspiration to young girls everywhere, not just for her Olympic success, but because of the lessons she's teaching the younger generation of athletes.
Make sure that you're giving yourself like mental time, like, because she took a break to like focus on herself and not like trying to be the best, because I think that's what messed her up the last one.
And for Lorelei Besselson, she says she's learned not to give up.
It just shows me that like no matter what happens, like you can always keep going. Like there's always like a different path you can take.
One thing about Northern Michigan is you can learn something new every day about the extensive history that is all around us, which is what the Historic Railroad Group of Northern Michigan aims to do.
We started out 13 years ago, and it all started with a fellow named Ernie Mainland, who had a vision of doing a model train layout from Petoskey to Walloon, where he had a cottage. And about 20 people showed up. And it was an interesting group, and the more we talked, the more the group came together and coalesced around a 1913 modeling date.
It's a replica that showcases what the town of Petoskey and the railroading system looked like over 100 years ago. From the footprint of the buildings to the landscaping, the team has been working year after year to make the replica as accurate as possible.
You'll see a model of that's based around Bayview Resort area, including the old Bayview train station and cottages that are still standing. The station, of course, is long gone. You'll see a really nice model of the Arlington Hotel. You'll see a scratch-built model of the Perry, of the Flatiron Building, of Churchill Printery, of the Penny Building. Behind me is a really neat model of the Zip Building, which people in Petoskey will know exactly what we're talking about. We then get into agriculture and then, of course, mining, because we had to do mining.
When looking at the replica, you may notice areas of railroad where buildings now stand or where roads have been paved. But 100 years ago, the town revolved around the train tracks.
One of the interesting features about railroading up here is that back in the teens and 20s, there was a commuter rail system that ran from downtown Petoskey right across from the train station, main train station, to Walloon, to Bayview, to Harbor Springs, and as far north as Alanson. And the peak of rail travel between those two stations, they saw 900 trains a day. They ran from 7:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night. The Pennsylvania Railroad had four daily passenger trains that came into town, 2 that terminated here and 2 that went on north. Then, of course, you have down below the hill, the Pere Marquette Railroad. The History Museum down there is in their old their old Pere Marquette train station. They can document 20,000 people a day crossing their platforms.
While the group has been working on putting together this replica from 1913 for nearly 13 years, they tell me that they aren't quite done yet.
A model railroad, for those of us who are in the hobby know, a model railroad is never finished, ever. You get it to where it looks respectable, and then you go back and go, I don't like the way that looked. I can do a better job, which is what we're doing now.
As you can see, the incredible attention to detail is one of many elements that makes this long-term project so special to the Northern Michigan community.
Sanborn was a company that would survey towns for the benefit of the insurance companies out east. Because of that, we know the exact footprint of all the buildings, and we have the right scale. So it's easy to translate the measurements of these buildings to the models you see.
Although this doesn't reflect modern-day Petoskey, it's important to learn about how the historic town grew into what it is today, and even spend some time reminiscing.
It shows people what it was like in 1913, how people got around. Our visitors come in and you tell them they saw 900 trains a day at our train stations, and no one can wrap their head around that.
Finally, Michigan dumped a whole bunch of snow on us, so these igloos are definitely appealing right now.
An abundance of snow only adds to the outdoor experience at Hop Lot Brewing Company. When the flakes start to fly, their beer garden turns into a winter wonderland where customers can bundle up and drink by the fire or hang out in one of their heated igloos.
I think we started out with 4. This is back in 2017, I want to say. And yeah, we're up to 18 now, and they do book out for the weekends. Best way to do that if you want to experience it, hoplotbrewing.com. Then there's a little reservation button right in the middle of the page. And again, they're free, hour-and-a-half reservations, and you can order from the igloo. We'll bring the drinks to you and get the food as well.
Hop Lot has 12 tasty taps to choose from, as well as a couple of their ciders and wines. You can try something traditional with their new, crisp American lager, or sample something with a twist.
One of my favorite beers on right now is our 10-cent Circus Show. This is a red ale, however it is dry hop. So you do get a lot of hop flavor up front. You're gonna get flavors of toffee and caramel on the back end, but up front you will experience kind of that hop forwardness that you would find in a traditional IPA.
In addition to their regular menu, Hop Lot also has some great food and drink specials happening all winter long.
During the winter season, we do offer happy hours Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We are closed on Wednesdays. Drink specials, food specials. Tuesday night we have Taco Tuesday, where we offer our tacos a la carte, the discounted price. And then on Sundays it's Family Day Sunday, half off kids food, free s'mores, and free hot chocolate for everybody as well.
I love ringing the bells.
The sound of the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign is synonymous with the Christmas season. And for the past 50 years, Dave Monson has been synonymous with the Red Kettle campaign in Wexford and beyond.
I used to do it for 3-hour stints, but as you get older, your body tells you that it's too cold or something, so now I just do an hour or 2.
Dave is one of dozens of Salvation Army volunteers who will be spread out across northern Michigan communities in the coming weeks, helping with the Red Kettle campaign.
That bell ringing is somebody who cares enough to stand the kettle and sound that alarm on the need that's out there that people are facing every single day.
Salvation Army Captain Greg Bach says the campaign draws attention to the vast needs of people in our area while also raising money to help them year-round.
We've seen those numbers go up consistently all year long. All year long.
Monson says being a bell ringer is all about helping others.
I just thank God that I had the opportunity to do it, because it's not about me. It's a great time of the year, but it's a difficult time of the year too. It's very hard on a lot of people. They're hurting, and so we've got to do whatever we can.
Dave says he's met some amazing people in his 50 years of bell ringing and hopes this year is no different.
Say Merry Christmas!
They understand what you're trying to do, and they appreciate that. And we have more people in need now than ever. I've never seen so many homeless people, so many people hurting. Being with the Salvation Army has just been a wonderful experience, and I hope to continue it as long as the good Lord allows me.